Hello everybody, this week we're looking at the fairly recently released Hawker Tempest 5 post-war edition from Airfix. We've seen the ones from KPM, but now Airfix's version is here. This is just the box lid, I'll show you the rest now. Start off with the decals and the nice cover sheet. As you can see there, they've got the good idea of having the areas around the doors cut off separately already, so because those go on the underside, as you'll see later. So that's a good idea, that is. Nice clear cartograph decals as usual. Two options, again you'll see them again. And look at all the stencil detail on the little instrument panel. So as usual, full marks for the decals. So a quick look, wander through the instruction booklet. We've got the usual multilingual stories and explanations of the aircraft. Nice detail on the kit of the cockpit area. Various different parts to add. You've got a head-up display gun sight type of thing. It'd be gun sight nowadays because you don't have head-up displays today. But it's a nice detailed cockpit. That's the rear of the car, of the instrument panel there. Instrument decal on the front of that. The cooler section, and that part there is the inside of the tail wheel area. As you can see, it all slots in nicely there. There's an option there, but I'll look at that again. That goes in, that goes in, that goes in. All pretty snug so far. Don't waste too much time turning the page. And there we go. Because the propeller comes as a separate unit, the two halves come together. You've got the walls of the wheel wells there. And at that stage you can decide whether to put the wheels up or down and make the holes for the drop tanks. Right, and there they are. Nice little drill explanation there. And you've got the one piece top wing and one piece bottom wing, and you've got the cockpit footrest areas on the moulded in to the top, which on the Hurricane kit you've got separate. So whether they've learned from that or whether they're just trying to save on part count, I don't know. But you've got rudders to add, and you've got the joystick to add there, and you've got a separate part there for the top of the canopy. I think that's to make sure there's no seam lines or tricky parts for the around the gun sight or the rail going backwards around the seat. That's what I think anyway. We'll find that out when we eventually build it. Say we. I'm not real, am I? I've seen somebody build this kit, and they had a bit of a tricky thing putting that in, but because you've got that sticking out there and you've got that sticking in there, so I have to be careful putting that together. But it's possible, otherwise they'd have to revise it otherwise, wouldn't they? So it must be possible. You've got port and starboard marked on the tabs for the tail parts, the tail elevators, and you've got a posable rudder, or at least the rudder comes separately, so I imagine you can post it. There's an option of closed bomb doors, of tailwheel doors, and there, usual fixtures, nice multiple doors to attach, and that shows you which angle the door should be at. The main and carriage, all various things. You've got what I wasn't aware of at the time, but they got clear parts for the drop tanks. Apparently they were molded out of clear plastic in real life, so you don't actually paint the support part. Yeah, there's your single piece of engine, at least propeller anyway. Stick it in that way, and the exhausts come in a two-part, which you've got to to put together, a bit like the Mosquito kit. You've got an option for the propeller and the, well, the propeller boss anyway, on the front. Got options there, A and B. And that's more or less the actual instructions as you reach the 5-minute mark. There's a little nice detail for the ones who bought and painted the pilot. Same guy who's been flying the Airfix kits for the last 50 years. And canopies, usual things. And they tell you which angle to put the radio mast on. See? Nice little detail there, nice and clear. So we have two options. Got the one for 1946 in Gatto, the commanding officer, Ambrose there. And we've got the one I'm going to make eventually, is the one for Wunstorf in Germany, 1946. Because it's got nice decals there and a question mark like Doctor Who really. That's clear as well, mind, but then don't forget. So yeah, that's the instructions. Now before the battery runs out, because you know my battery is not new, I won't open the bag for the clear parts, but they are clear, as the name suggests. I'm pretty happy with them. I could take them out, but I didn't have it ready to show that. But there's the clear parts for the drop tanks, front canopy, main canopy, and the gun sight thing. Got some nice crisp moulding of the plastic, and yeah, nice hard plastic. Got the two propeller bosses there, and various intakes and seats. You got the detail on the back of the seat there. Out of the way so it doesn't focus on it. There, as I've shown before, the moulded in footrests, tail wheels and all that sort of thing. This is an interesting thing because they've got the guns barrels moulded. In the past, other kits, you put the gun barrels on so they're sticking out there, and they could be, sometimes you put them on and they don't go straight, but because you've got them built in to go in here, they're going to be straight and parallel to each other. So there we are, this is the underside then. Again, nice recessed panel lines and crisp moulding. There's no flash, there's a little bit of flash there, but good grief. What does one expect? You've got options for wheels as well. See? A 5-spoke one, 4-spoke one. And that's just a bit of mould sprue injection bits. You got the light holes there, and of course you make holes for the parts. You need to have holes for aerials and pitot tubes and under tanks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You only got one propeller, contrary to what I said earlier, but you got two propeller bosses, one propeller. I've got the different parts there for the exhausts, and I like the it's quite nice. Focus on that, but nice detail on the inside of the wheel doors and the various hydraulics and all that. So yeah, that's the fairly new tooled Hawker Tempest Mk.V. post-war from Airfix. Thank you for watching, and cheerio.